Hello and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCT Center, and also I'm true speaker, healer, energy worker, guide, mentor, co-creator, galactic ambassador from Pleiadians. And with me is again two lovely ladies, Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant, gratefully providing access to high dimensions of being. Morgan has been called the healer of healers as a way to describe her unique spiritual tools she shares. Morgan is here to serve those who seek great understanding of their sacred spiritual self, have the deep desire to integrate that consciousness in their 3D world. And Jeannie Reyna, licensed psychotherapist in state of Washington, worked primarily with early childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and emotional neglect, helping clients empower themselves. Jeannie sees herself as lifetime student of growth. She continuously takes classes to enhance her knowledge base. At present, she is studying internal family systems. So, hello, 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 two lovely, wonderful, beautiful ladies. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
How you been? We haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. So, how you been?
Good.
I'm good.
I
Yeah.
want to start. Jeannie, maybe want to start. How you been for 2 weeks?
Who, me?
Mhm.
Yes.
Um, I've been doing well. Yeah, really well. It's I'm I'm up there in years, so I'm thinking, how do I want to live the last part of my life? And I've been working towards that, and I want to be really healthy, and so I've hired a um, a health coach to so I can be accountable, and that's what I realized I need to be accountable. Have someone that I have to say what I've done. So it's been really good. I feel really good about it.
How long you already working with this health coach?
2 weeks now.
How do you feeling after 2 weeks?
I feel really good. Like it's something I've always needed, and I didn't know I needed until I've at one like because I'm getting older, things are it's harder for me to lose, to take the weight off. And so what I realized is, and I'm also getting, my job is sitting all day, and so this entails working, being accountable for what you're eating, as well as the workouts. He sends me workouts all the time, and so it's really good. It's getting me healthy in a lot of different ways that I need, and I couldn't do it on my own. So it's admitting to myself, because I've never went on a diet or anything before, and I was trying to do it on my own, and I was like, it's not working. So it's good.
Great, great. How about you, Morgan?
Well, I just want to kind of comment on what Jeannie was just saying. There's an awareness, there's a time where we become aware that maybe our habits and our patterns have not served us so well. And so when she hires a health coach, that is her commitment to herself to say, I can't, I don't know how to do this. And you know what? That's a powerful place to be when you say, I don't know, and ask for help, which is the most powerful place you can step into, uh, to move you in a direction that takes you out of patterns, that takes you out of habits. And Jeannie and I were talking about this a few weeks ago, when I had an awareness. There's some things I need to do with my health, which I did, and I'll tell you, I've already lost 20 pounds, and I was like, I'm thrilled about that. But it's a shift in how you hold yourself and your commitment to a higher way of being with yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. If we can make the decision to break a pattern, and you have to look at what the pattern has been giving you all that time, right? There's a reason we set up patterns in our lives, maybe for comfort or whatever drove us to do the patterns, right? But there's a point where we change. And if we don't change when the time is right, we get stuck in a pattern. And it will always call us to heal or always call us to be different. But if we're stuck in it, it's hard to get out of it. And that's where having someone to be accountable to is powerful, and a beautiful move. So congratulations. That's
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you said. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Please help me.
Right.
Sometimes that's been my prayer. I don't know. Please help me.
Yeah.
And then being led and guided to, and then moving on the guidance. So
Yes.
yeah.
Because I joined a gym and I was just not going, and it was just like, that's not working.
No. Yeah. No.
So I realized being accountable is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all coming to some point in lives when we looking for somebody who help us, because we grow as much we can, like in whatever we can do, but then is moment, okay, what to do next?
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue how to get rid of my childhood traumas, or I don't have a clue how to move forwards there, or all rest of things now on spiritual journey. I'm started not with health coach, I started with Morganne, which is quite similar in many ways.
I'm going to go get a cough drop, so I'll be right back.
Okay, great.
Right.
Yeah, just the commitment to be the highest and best and expression of self that we can be requires pattern changes, requires that we change. And I love that Einstein quote, you can't and I'm going to botch it, I know, but you can't make a change with the same mind that created the first thing, right? You have to have a change of mind, and in that change of mind, make decisions about what it is you truly want. So yeah, it's good. Are you feeling okay, Jeannie?
Yeah, I just started getting cough, and I didn't want to be coughing all through it. So
Okay, great. Okay, great. Yeah, I've been.
I find so many of my clients is telling me that they are sick in many different parts of the world. So something again nicely is going on, by my opinion.
Yeah, something great's going on actually, and that's been my guidance. Is that it's almost like we're being birthed. Um, um, Leaving, and this is going to relate to what we've just been talking about, leaving the comfort of lethargy, leaving the comfort of not knowing, leaving the comfort of habit, leaving that. Those are things that get you into a comfort that aren't for your good. They're for your comfort, and comfort is not the goal. Comfort is a dangerous place to land. If you've gotten comfortable, then you've probably become stuck. And what I noticed too is, you'll go back to, like in the introduction you did of me, right? Where it says that, I've been called the healer of healers. Well, that's because healers, like shoemakers, they're there for everyone. They do for everyone. They're present for everyone, and then they forget about the number one, right? and and that's what I noticed, is that healers and energy workers, they give so much of themselves, and yet they have forgotten to fill their own cup. And so, that has been my purpose, is to help healers and energy workers um, revive and do their work. Otherwise, sometimes energy healers and light workers, they get the imposter syndrome. They're doing the work, right, but they haven't done it themselves. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about making those kinds of, and for me, I think everybody's a healer. We just haven't all wakened up to that yet. um, but being committed to doing your work no matter what. Like, a lot of people think I don't do work, but I
Okay, by the look of it, Morganne actually tried to show us something or read something and pressed wrong button. So I hope she will be back soon. While Morganne is not here, I want to ask you, please, if you like my videos, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube video channel and Rumble video channel. There is as well with live today on YouTube and Rumble at the same time. So please subscribe, go back to our videos because we had already 80 videos. This is video 81 with Morganne and many more wonderful videos and wonderful knowledge. Do you press some wrong button just now?
all I did was move my computer just slightly, so I don't know. I'm not touching anything.
Morganne, it's in America that every show like 1 second and stop and then is uh, advertising pause, yeah, pause for advertising, pause for advertising. So you done pause for advertising. I have enough time to actually advertise my show. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to be of support to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know where we were. I know we're talking about habits and behaviors and things like that, but one of the things I want to say about that habits and behaviors, those, if you look into it and you really go deeper into it, you realize that all those things are around a story you're telling yourself, right? It's a story you've been telling yourself, and you've been telling yourself a long time. And it's a story that you don't allow to change, because it becomes that story, and the story gets stuck in this cycle of, well, that's the story, right? And then you become, well, that's who I am, and that's what I am, and then you just become anchored in a story you're telling yourself. Telling a new story is so powerful. Telling a new way of being is so powerful, that indicates that there's the movement to change. Much like with Jeannie's story of, she had neglected these things, but the new story is, I reached out for help. I'm getting help. I'm shifting. I'm changing. Right? There's a new story there, which is so beautiful. And in my work, and I know in you ladies' work, people come to you with their stories. It's like the what happened for them, right? And the stories that anchor them into that, and we get to assist them with understanding about their story, and helping them rewrite a story if that is what they are wanting, right? So yeah, telling stories.
Exactly. I had client just now, which one she is yoga teacher, and I we start working, and I ask her, okay, I really don't understand what you're doing with me, because you are yoga teacher. All breathing exercises, all calming down exercises, all things what you need to know, you do know, yeah, as a yoga teacher. She said, I just not looking, don't have time to look after myself at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she needs me to actually try help her somehow. Yeah, look after herself as well as doing everything else. Yeah, she is mother, she is wife, she is yoga teacher. Yeah, but no time for herself whatsoever.
And that's a story she's telling herself, right? I don't have
Yeah,
time for you. That's a story she's telling herself. She'll give and give and give and give and give. But the most important thing is you got to fill yourself up. You know, we got that proverbial put on your oxygen mask first before you try to help others. But I'll tell you, I know so many healers and therapists and ministers that don't do that. They just continually give until they got nothing to give. And then they become ineffectual in their message. But if we choose to fill our own beingness and come from the fullness of our beingness, then we have something beautiful to give. We don't have something tired and worn out to give. We have something full and current and something moving. And that's what's so beautiful about having, you know, starting your morning with your prayer work and your your connection to your source and allowing that, so you get imprinted with the divine, so then you can move in your world with that. Most people go out into the world, get imprinted with the world, and then they try to work with that. So
yeah. I find actually since I have to check in with Galactic Federation every morning, yeah,
mhm.
it's sort of put me in this place where I have to, I have no choice, I have to be ready for work, I have to be uh, grounded, I have to be like really, I have to uh, do my prayers, do my affirmations, do all this stuff, yeah, invite Galactic Federation, invite Creator to help me out with everything. Yeah, so I have to do this, and I now can't imagine my day starting or finishing without something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have it your way, right? You have it your way. I do it my way. Jeannie does it her way. It doesn't matter. it it's the commitment to the connection. It's the commitment to allowing. See, when we connect to that, we're asking for help already. We're saying, you know, like, hey, yo, divine, you know, like assistance here, right? We in that connection where we're offering ourselves to the assistance. We're offering our old stories to it. We're offering and giving up to it the old way that maybe is no longer working, and the courage to be revealed to a new path, or a new way of being, or a new habit, or you know. And it's a beautiful thing when you begin to connect with something bigger than you, more knowledgeable than you, be it a health coach, be it a beautiful healer person, you know, that we're connecting to something that knows more than we do. And if we can surrender to that, then we become more. We become enriched. We become fuller, and then we have way more to offer.
Yeah. I was thinking, you know, you're talking about working on ourselves through the divine. And there's something about, you know, there's a way in this world that we feel like there's going to be a savior coming and saving us. But the truth is that we all are the saviors. I mean, we have to save ourselves and then start saving other people, you know, and it's not any one person that's going to save us. And that's where I think people get lost in that. It's a collective. It's everybody doing their own work and helping other people. But first, putting an oxygen mask on yourself first, and then reaching out and helping other people. But it has to be a collective. It's not going to work if it's just one person.
But I think collective makes from this chart about energies, yeah. Collective makes when one person is positive, yeah, just positive, little bit positive, not even high. I don't know. You need to be at peace. What you need to be the very first, yeah. I remember the very first little bit positive on top of 200 energy, yeah, giving out. It's just helping 75,000 people around you neutralize their negativeness, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about very first step, and that's going up and up, yeah, in those numbers. So when we, each of us, try to be in peace with ourselves, with our surroundings, when we try to be positive, when we try to be giving other people this passion and love and support and care and so on, yeah, we already, even not getting out of our chairs, we already giving out this energy and neutralizing this negative energy for thousands and thousands of people around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You were reminded me when you say, try to be positive. I would say, well, what do I prefer? Right. We'll go back to the Course in Miracles. What do you prefer? I was with my sister for the past couple of weeks, and she has a habit. I love my sister, but one of the habits she has is I don't like it when I don't like. And it was like, so I listened. And so I would say, well, what do you prefer? Every time there was that, I don't like, well, what do you prefer? And I realized I had already slipped into that, that letting go of a pattern of, instead of I don't like or I don't want or whatever that is, that's just that energy of, well, I think I've said it on the show, that's trying to practice something that doesn't exist, which is the law of get away from me. There is no law of get away from me. There's a law of attraction. So when you say I don't want, which is a habit thing, or when we say those things, really what we're affirming with it, and we're doing it with an energy too, because when you say I don't want that, you've got an energy inside of you that's very magnetic that will draw that thing right to you. Just because the universe doesn't hear it doesn't hear that, it hears the energy of what we're doing, and that people don't get that, right? It's so when you stop and you go, well, okay, maybe I don't want that, but what would I prefer? And when you start putting your energy into what would I prefer, then that preference can begin to show up. Well, I would prefer um, uh, whatever it is, I prefer love and light in my life. I prefer being around happy people. What do you prefer? What do you more want, right? Rather than trying to practice the law of get away from me, which doesn't work, right? So that it would be the same thing if we're looking at health. Like, I don't want to be fat, right? Well, okay, but what would you prefer? And then put the energy on, oh, I prefer healthy, lean, supple, energetic body, right? I prefer that. Well, then if you prefer that, what are the choices you can make around your preference? When we lead with I don't want to be or I don't like, then we're not leading with a preference. We're participating in that push away, and it's exhausting. So when we begin to shift and begin to speak into our reality, our preferences, then our preferences can show up. And ways to fulfill those preferences will show up. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Jeannie, is something you want to mention with it?
No, I agree. It's about the power of language and what we draw to ourselves and what we don't. And I think it's interesting because everything we say has impact, and is it positive impact or is it negative impact? And when we say we don't like something in our body, we're that has impact on our body, and it's just fascinating, the power of intention.
It is, and what you remind me of is like our body's mostly water. And if we look at Dr. Emoto's work with looking at working with words with water, it's the same. It works the same with us. So if you take, anybody can look this up on the internet. It's all over the place. Dr. Emoto's work, where he would take, let's say, take two plants or 2 glasses of water or whatever, and on one shower it with love and light and languages, the words, and there's an energy to that, right? And then one that you give hate and anger and it's disgusting and all of that, they both respond correspondingly to what you say. The one that you have hated will be shrivelly and unhealthy. So when we speak to ourselves in a very negative way, we become shrivelly and unhealthy. The universe says, oh, okay. It doesn't care what we ask for. That's the deal. We care what we ask for. But if you say, I love myself enough to go hire a health coach, I love myself that much, your body is going to respond to that movement and that power, because it's like you're programming the waters of your being to now accept this beautiful new way of being, and it gets all ready for that. So you reminded me of that Dr. Emoto's work. I encourage anyone who listens to this to go and look at some of those experiments. And there's a couple of really good little mini movies that work with his concept. So yeah, speaking your words, and it also brings me back to thinking about I am, how we use the word I am. Right? We've talked about this a lot on this show, the power of I am when we speak into that. I got back here to my community night before last, very late, after being my flights being canceled over and over again. It was pretty hilarious to watch how people responded to that, to to cancellations, and being held in a place where you didn't really want to be, but here you were, and how people respond to that. And it was pretty interesting to watch people become very arrogant and angry and thinking that they're yelling at people are going to change things, right? But and then there were people that were having fun, getting drunk, and stealing wheelchairs, and going crazy in the airport. They got in trouble, but they were they responded to it in a different way, right? Then there were people who, it's just like everybody responds so differently, and I just like listened and just paid attention to how people and then there were the fixers who think they could fix it better than the flight crew, and only if you would. It was really hilarious. It was a perfect example of humanity and how humanity, all the ways humanity can respond to a situation. I was really grateful that they knew that the brakes went wrong on the plane, so that we were ready to take off when it was discovered one of the brakes had failed. Now, why they didn't know that before we were getting ready to take off, I don't know. But I was grateful. We were told to get off the flight, that they were going to have to replace the brakes. They found out they had to replace 2 brakes and the tires. If we had landed at home, we might not have, that would have been a different story. I might have to tell, right? I felt protected. I felt cared for. Was it inconvenient? Yeah. But it was the overarching feeling of I'm meant to continue on because, you know, there we had new brakes. We had new tires. Hey, Jeannie, how about the brakes? Right. I got guys.
Oh yeah.
And there it was again, you know, the brakes, right?
So I think I think you have to tell the story
What about breaks?
about the brakes.
You tell the story. You tell the story.
So I was talking with Morganne, and she was using this book, and I don't know if I could tell it as well as you can, because you know all the more details. But she was using a pendulum, and it came to auto. And she said, I've never gotten this before, but she said, you need to check your brakes in your car. And so I called the auto shop and had them check my brakes, and they said, you need new brakes. I had them do a service of my car, and I didn't say anything about the brakes, and they said, you need new brakes. And so I got new brakes, but she's and her pendulum, she was working with the pendulum, and she said it's 80 like, how much do you need this? And it was 80%. And then I saw, and you know, I would think that I didn't need brakes because I got them not too long ago, and sure enough, I needed new brakes.
Yep.
So that was fabulous.
Yeah, it is fabulous. I mean, we can look at that as metaphors too, right? And for me, it was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that they discovered that, because that would have been disastrous.
Right.
Because we had no brakes. we had no brakes and failing tires.
Right.
So, you know, pay attention to those things. But then you can look at the metaphor of where do we need to put the brakes on, right? Put brakes on our habits, put brakes on how we think, put brakes on, you know, it's good to have brakes. Stop.
Absolutely.
To stop.
Absolutely. Because we go in autopilot, and we keep on going, and we're not being self-reflective about, is this working for me, what we're doing here? You know, we just keep on going forward. And so I find, you know, and it took me to get to keep, like, I was a doer. I was the person that Morganne was talking about, that I was doing all the time for other people, and to the point where I wasn't taking care of myself. And so since then, you know, it came down to what, like, I just had to shut down everything. And then you know, so I shut down. And then since then, I've been always checking on myself, even when I'm talking to people. How do I feel? Like, how do I feel? Because it's so important to be self-aware and not go on autopilot. It's a really good way to take care of yourself, you know, and is this working for me? Is it, you know, and constantly, because everything we do has impact, and we have to know what the impact of it is on us as well.
Yes. Yes. And the only way you can get to that is by that self-reflection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean, self-reflection? Well, if you got a feeling stirring inside of you, that's a reflection of something going on that's saying, hey, pay attention here. And if we ignore it, well, maybe next time it'll be louder, or maybe next time, if you're like getting energy here, you might get heartburn, or maybe you could get a heart attack. You know, it's going to always, the energy is going to always ask for your attention. And, you know, I was working with a client yesterday, and, you know, people think they've done their work when they've done a little work, which is hilarious, right? And then you can hear what they're saying, and you realize, oh man, they're just like totally, they're not listening to what they're saying, right? And just the words, right? The pronouncements that are are made give you a whole lot. And I go, well, how do you feel about what you're speaking there, right? And there was like a big huge pocket. Well, that's this self-reflection. If we could every day check in with, how am I feeling? What am I thinking about? Where's my thought energies going? What's happening in my feeling? And also, what are people reflecting into my world, right? So when I was sitting in that airport, just witnessing all the different ways of receiving that kind of news that we received, right? Um, just watching all the different reactions, it gave me a lot of feedback about humans, but it also gave a lot of feedback to me about maybe my own frustrations or any of that. So I practiced a lot with just breath work and letting go and appreciating the keeping us safe. You know, sometimes when something good's about to happen for us, it may take a little while to put that together. It doesn't happen like that. Brand new brakes and tires take a while. Especially they had to order them from Seattle to come down to Albuquerque. So it took a long while, a full 24-hour cycle to get back in the movement. But we can learn a lot about ourselves by being in that reflective place. And I encourage everyone to do that. When you get up. How are you feeling? What's going on? Are you getting up with a smile? Or are you getting up with a dredge? You know, it's like, you know, what's going on for you? Be self-reflective. Be curious. Be curious. There's that beautiful word I love. Be curious about what's going on in you, with you, for you, around you. Be curious. Ah, the silence is deafening.
Now I at the moment just just thinking about that, and then thinking about those breaks, and I think this new technologies, new everything what's going on with us, yeah, I feel the people want everything to happen now. If it's not happening in next 5 minutes, then I don't care. Yeah, I need now. I work with therapists for 1 or 2 weeks, and I need improvement now. I don't think I had one person who we done 3 sessions, and she didn't see any improvement, and literally was demanding me to send like a session plan and so on, and I have to spend my time, just my time, which one nobody obviously will pay me for, yeah, and give her session report what she was telling me, what I responded, how I responded, what I give her, yeah, what I give her in first sessions to start work with, what I give her on second, what I give her on third, yeah, and how we move forward. And then her mouth shut. Yeah, because actually I did respond, and whatever she was telling me, yeah, I did give her techniques to move forward. I give her steps which she has to take to move forward. But you see, in 3 weeks there is no improvement. She don't see improvement. You know, go deep. That's horrible. Therapy is not working.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good to blame it on other people and not take responsibility, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a habit or a pattern. And that is one you absolutely, because when you do that, that means you have no power. You give your power to someone else. And to me, that's a very sad place to be. That's a very sad, uh, non powerful, you're like a pawn in the world. And that goes back to that scripture, be in the world, but not of the world. For us to go into the world fully locked and loaded with the spiritual energy, with love, with goodness, with kindness. Uh, I took we have something here called the light rail. And I took it going to the airport for my daughters, and it was easy. It was beautiful. Coming back was an entirely different story. There were hordes of people. I couldn't even get on the first train because there were so many people. And then I managed to get on the second train, and it was packed. And then we had a football game here, and people were leaving early from the football. So that train was packed, and now here comes more people in. We were packed in there, so tight. It was crazy. But when I'd gone and sat down in the on the seat, you know, they're like little tiny seats, and I had a suitcase and my bag. And when I sat down, the gentleman next to me, I ended up sitting on part of his coat. And in a little while later, he's like trying to pull his coat out from under my jammed in butt on this train, right? And I go, I just started laughing. I couldn't help but laugh. And he goes, "Excuse me, can I have my coat back?" And I said, "Oh yeah, sure." And you know, and I'm like bumping around, and he just said, "Thank you." I said, "Well, now your coat's blessed with my energy." And he like he just like looked at me like, "What have you said?" You know, it's like, and then he goes, "I'm going to take that blessing." I said, "Wrap yourself up in your coat. You are now blessed." And, you know, like I took a situation that could have maybe gone wrong, right? I turned it into something beautiful, something that, and then I was just going to bless everybody on the train. So I like went in my mind, I'm just like, you know, I'd see somebody and they look sad or whatever, and I just do a blessing for them. I just kept doing that the whole train. And that's a long train ride too. But so that's how I spent my time on the train, was bringing blessing, you know, like in the airport, just witnessing and blessing everybody on their journey. It was good.
That's what I'm doing when I'm driving, and when I'm driving, like uh, usually to shops or something, and I have to wait in traffic lights. I always bless people who are somewhere there around. It's happens really, I think even subconsciously, because it's that way. I see somebody and I sort of send blessings their way, yeah. And I don't know why, but it's happening. I'm going somewhere and I have to.
That's
Yeah.
I think that's excellent, because you know traffic is so interesting because people have all different reactions to it, and most of it's negative, and so it's I love the fact that you bless traffic, the people in
I
different countries.
don't even bless traffic. It's such a bless people who I see around, yeah, who is standing maybe next line to me, yeah, or maybe there is I'm stopping in traffic lights and there is bus stop and there is few people standing and maybe somebody disabled or maybe somebody something again happens to them or cars, yeah, cars, which one is on the side of the road, something wrong with cars. Oh my God, that's it, they're coming huge amount of blessing from me when I drive past, yeah. I think they really feel this flow of energy, yeah, because I feel so sorry for them that they actually car stopped in the middle of road, for whatever reason it is, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
middle of journey. So yeah,
That's beautiful. Instead of just going around them and being all upset about them stopping in the middle of the road. I just really love that, because it's like we need more of that in the world, to have grace around other people.
and
Yeah.
also something else what I'm doing, if I don't, I'm not on mood straight away or something, I'm doing affirmations when I'm driving.
Mm.
I like looking at the skies, yeah, and I see nice clouds and something sunny, beautiful day, skies, beautiful, yeah. Thank you, beautiful, magical skies. I always keep my vibration high. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, I love
And
it. You're a poet. That's beautiful.
yeah, that's my journey. I try not to get in many negative things that, yeah. So
Yep.
That's
And
good.
everybody can be given the same experience, but no two people are going to react to that experience the same way, right?
Yeah.
And really is about a choice and a commitment about how you want to be in your world and how you want to be with people, how you want to be with yourself. So it's always fascinating to me, how people choose to be in traffic or choose to be with people, or at that airport where there were so many different choices of how people were choosing to be with the same we all received the same information. And there was my son-in-law called me during while there, and he's a mechanic, a diesel mechanic, so he's like, well, Boeing's on strike, and that's not gonna, and you need to go up there, and you need to and I said, well, okay, okay, I'll try that, and I went up, and the gentleman that was one of the stewards, he said, here's you're okay. You're okay. Just sit. He goes, we're going to take good care of you. And so I called that back my son-in-law. I said, I'm going to be well taken care of. And I was, right? I got a beautiful room at the Hyatt overnight. I got food. I mean, they paid for food. It's like I was well taken care of. And most importantly was we had brakes and we had tires, and and we had safety, and they took care of us in that beautiful way. um and it's how you hold it. It's really how you hold it.
Yeah.
exactly.
I,
Morgan, we yes,
Go,
I was just
Jean.
going to say real quick. I was there was a while there that I was going to the airport, and I would just stand in line, to for security, and everybody's really anxious and everything. And I would just send people love, like, all over the place. And I found that when I did that, I was feeling more love inside me. Like I was just, so it was kind of like a blessing, in a way, to just send them love,
but I sort of believe in this, and not sort of, I do believe that everything what we're sending out, we're getting back. Not, I'm not talking about now, yeah, same moment, but it's getting back on one way or other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. I'll tell a funny story. TSA. My sister, again, you got to watch what you're saying. She said before we got there, I always get stopped at TSA. I always get searched. I go, okay. Are you sure you want that experience? But she was like, sure enough, when we left because I'd flown down to New Orleans to meet her and do some family things. And then she and I flew out to Albuquerque. At the airport, her suitcase got pulled aside, but in her suitcase was the bag with my mother's ashes in it, right? And they had we had the letter of transport with it, right? But all they can see is this big brick of something in there, right? Oh my gosh. It was like all these, not just security, like drug enforcement. Oh my God. They thought they had a heroin bust.
Wow.
And it was hilarious. And because it's like, it's like all of a sudden, like they're like getting excited. People are showing up and it's like, and they're like putting on their gloves and, to handle this bag. And I said, there is a bag with our mother's ashes in there. I ask you to be very careful with those. And then when they opened it up and saw that it was ashes, you should see their faces of disappointment. It's like they didn't have their big drug bust, but we got a good laugh out of the whole experience of how people react, right? And and then how they reacted when they discovered what it really was, right? It was not it was just
Imagine unexpected drug bust. What kind of bonuses they would get? Probably those bonuses already was in their heads, how much they can get for it.
right?
Yeah.
And the sense of self-importance, right? That would have been challenged as well. So it again, just humans and how we respond. And again, it's like helping my sister with her words was really important. Just maybe you don't want to affirm that every time you go through, because I went through, I still had some of my mom's ashes. When I move through the lines easily and effortlessly, and I do. It's just like, and there was a hunk of ashes in mine, but no one pulled.
And that's how I'm going to for parking. Yeah, I can easily and effortlessly. I will easily and effortlessly have car parking space when I get to the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I in absolutely crowded car park can have nice, beautiful two spaces together because I don't like one space. For me as a princess, I need two spaces. So yes, I nicely have nice comfortable parking space. Yeah. Every time I'm going. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yep. Yep. So,
Easily and
it's how you hold it. It's what you have. And those are your expectations, in the world. You're putting that out there. Yeah.
yes. Okay, we are way past our meditation time. Do you have time, Morgan? Or we have
Um,
to just keep chatting till
how about I'll just do a prayer? How about we'll
okay,
just do a prayer? How's that sound? I've
okay.
not been given anything particularly for this show, so let's just everyone let's go within and honor your being by making sure your feet are on the floor, connected, grounded. Bring awareness to your body. Bring an awareness and a curiosity. What's going on here? If I got any feelings that are coming up, or is there any discomfort anywhere? Just check in. Take this moment to do a scan and like from the bottom of your feet, are you experiencing anything? All the way up, all the way up. What are you experiencing? And take a breath in. And then let that breath go. And as much as possible, just come to a still point. And I'll ask one question today. The question is, what is alive in me? Ask yourself that question. What is alive in me? And just as you ask yourself that question, see what comes forward. What is alive in me right now? Have you got a worry that you're thinking about? Have you got a future expectation you're thinking about? Maybe you're not feeling well. It doesn't matter. Just check in. What is alive in me right now? And when you arrive at your answer that is given to you, what is alive in me now? Ask yourself, is this mine? Sit with that question for a moment. Is this mine? And if it is not yours, then choose to release it. Or you can choose to carry it on. We carry many things that do not belong to us, or we carry things also from our ancestry. And if it is yours, do you choose to carry that? If it is yours, do you choose to release it? What do you prefer? Take a breath in. And just as simple as that, we have done a little bit of self-reflection. Just like that. We've understood what is alive in us. We've understood whether or not it is ours. And we can also decide, what do we prefer? Very powerful. Breath in. And I invite you to practice this very simple exercise. What is alive in you? Is it yours? And what do you prefer? So in love, in light, I bless our time together. Bring in awareness to our words, our thoughts, our patterns, our behaviors. As we live this life of human to the very best we can possibly live it, through self-reflection, through changing course when it's time, to embracing life fully as the blessing in the world. And I know that this time that we have come together has strengthened each of us and moved us closer to a life of preference, of what we prefer in our lives, prefer as our actions, prefer as our thoughts. And so I bless each and every one of us on this journey, knowing that we are all guided, we are all protected, and we are all given all that we need to satisfy that what we prefer. And so in love and light, I bless us all on this beautiful journey of being alive, this beautiful journey of showing up this beautiful journey of being human this time. And so we are blessed, we are loved, we are guided, and we are sustained in all ways. And so it is. Just bring your awareness back.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jeannie, is there anything you want to say?
Thank you, ladies, and thank you for everyone who showed up. And I wish you all the best as we move forward in our day and week. And
And we're meeting up in a week, yeah, as far we know.
Yep.
Great. So please, for everyone who likes our shows, we will be back in a week. Uh, please, if you like my videos, please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube video channel so many more people can see our videos. And even if you go back now on very first videos, there is so much pure knowledge from Morganne and so many meditations I love, and they are very strong and beautiful meditations. So go back and watch from video one, which is about few years back. So please, yes, and remember to sign up for subscribe for Rumble channel as well, because now we are doubling in Rumble channel as well. So thank you very much everybody for watching, and from our hearts to yours, thank you and God bless.